So in module 4, you have two sections. The first section is time division switching, which we have just covered it. So the next part is switching system software. So this content is there in the second textbook according to your syllabus, that is Sayyadar Ali. So what you people are studying in this particular module is that so here you are going with the architecture of a digital switch. You will be studying various types of softwares with respect to each level. There are three levels: level 1, 2, and 3. And then you will be studying a call model, and finally you will be going through the software linkages that are required for this call features. Yes. So moving on to the very first part, that is the basic software architecture. So since whatever is the technology that are including the software is more developing, so this digital switching system is also going with the modern technology or modern software that has been provided. Yes. So basically this switching system is employs quasi distributed hardware and the software architecture. So if you go with the operating system, there are various types of operating systems, say namely serial batch, multi-programming, time sharing, real time, and distributed. Among all these, this particular operating system, what DSS uses is the real time, because it needs to work in the real time, right? So here, this is the architecture that is shown. You can see that there are three levels of control: level 1, level 2, and level 3. And here this is nothing but the operating system that is included with respect to each of the levels. And this particular architecture is with respect to your digital switching system, which you have already come across these terminologies. Line LM is nothing but line module, and TM is nothing but the trunk module. NCP is nothing but the network control processor. CP is the central processor. Yes, IC is interface controller, and NCP is network control processor. So how is the arrangement of this particular architecture, that is the software architecture for this particular digital switching system? First, we'll look into what is the operating system that has been used in the digital switching system. So as I have mentioned, they are using the real-time operating system, because whatever is the modern DSS, it will ask for the task to execute in the real time. So basically, this real-time operating system, it will interact with the different layers of the application that is required to support the telephony features and the functions. So, and a few of the DSS, they also use something called as the quasi-distributed architecture, where the processor or the controller for each of the subsystem may use a different operating system. As you can see here, I'll just go through this. But just let me highlight what is this operating system. Yes. So in this particular thing, there is something called as a kernel. Yes, this is the heart of the operating system where everything is worked under it. So the kernel of the operating system, it will consist of the functions of the operating system, and the main functions of this particular kernel will be to control the processor, and also to schedule the processes. Processes are nothing but any task that has to be done. The scheduling will be done by this particular kernel in the operating system. Yes. So and other tasks are mainly memory management, and also the input and output control, because we are having the line and the trunk modules. Yes. So these all things has to be controlled. So who is controlling that? That is being controlled by the operating system, which I mean to be as a kernel. So most of the real-time operating systems that control this digital switching system, they use a priority based scheduling. Again, in there is something called as a scheduling, wherein there are many types of scheduling. So this particular DSS, digital switching system, uses the priority based scheduling. Students who have studied operating system will easily understand these things, but no issues if you don't know also, because what is required, I'll be saying for this particular course. So here priority based in the sense, if a particular task is being executing, yes, say some other task which is very important and has to be done at that particular instant, so that is given as the highest priority. It means that whatever is the current executing process, that has to stop and start executing this particular priority given task. For example, let me consider, say in this particular digital switching system, maintenance of a digital switching system is the highest priority that is given. So say that there is some call which is in conversation, that process is happening by a digital switching system exchange, and there is some maintenance process that has to run. So whatever is the process which was already in execution, that will be stopped for a while, and this maintenance task will be executed. Once this is completed, then the maintenance job is done, so it will go back to the previous process. So this is said to be as a priority based scheduling mechanism. So here most of the DSS employs kernel that resides in the main memory, and you have to be very careful that, and you have to just mention that the highest priority is given to the maintenance interrupts. Whatever are the other interrupts, those are the next priority, but the highest priority is given to this particular maintenance interrupt. Now coming to the next part, that is the database management. So here the database are employed in DSS. They are usually a rational or say a distributed one. In case of distributed databases, they will imply that there is multiple databases which require data synchronization. And in case of a rational database system, this uses a relational data model, in which the relationship between the files are represented by data values, which are already there in the file records. Then what is this record? So this record is nothing but a rational database in flat, that is a simple two-dimensional arrangement of data elements. What is a record? Record is nothing but a simple two-dimensional arrangement of our data elements. So if we are saying that the grouping of a related data item is sometimes they are referred to as a tuple. So this tuple will contain two values, and that is said to be as a pair. Since they are having two values, we call it as a pair. In general, if there are n number of values, then we call it as then we say it as a n tuple. Yes. So next, moving on to the generic program. So what do you mean by a generic program? Then we'll move on to each of this level, how they are controlling, how the operating system is controlling each of the level. Yes. So the concept of a generic program, so it will indicate that all the programs which are necessary for switching of this particular system has to function properly. Yes. It will consist of the operating system, obviously, in which there is a kernel. Yes, a common switching software is the required, and also a system maintenance software. And what basically we have went through in module 2, the digital switching system, there you have come across the concept called central office. Yes, this is the part which will control all other blocks, or say all other equipments. Yes, so here we have to take care about all those things. So next we'll move on to the software architecture for level 1 control. Yes, this level 1 is said to be as the lowest control, or say the lowest level, and this is controlling the line module and the trunk modules, and all other lower level modules are being controlled by this level 1 control. Yes, so here this whatever is the interface controller, these are controlled by microcontroller, and they have a very small kernel. You can just look over here, it is mentioned KERNEL kernel. Yes, so this will have a very small kernel which will control the hardware of this particular interface controller. And this interface controller will have a small operating system, that is to control and schedule the task, which particular line module has to be activated, which particular trunk module has to be activated, or which process has to go on. So all the scheduling task also will be provided by the operating system, which is for level 1 control. So here, this particular interface controller will diagonalize all these line and trunk modules and any other peripherals which are connected to this particular level 1 control, or say any hardware which is connected to the level 1 control. And here the central processor can run whatever is the central processor. So this can run the diagnostic routines program on itself, and it or say a request for fault free IC to run it. So basically, what level 1 control or the say the operating system which is working for level 1 control does is maintenance, scheduling of these particular line module and trunk module, and controlling all the interfaces or say the peripherals which are connected to the level 1 control. So this is with respect to the first one. And coming to the second one, that is level 2 control. This is said to be as the intermediate level or say the next level, since it is between level 1 and level 3. Level 1 is said to be as the lowest level, and level 3 is said to be as the highest level. So here in this particular level 2, this level is associated with the network control processor, as you can see in the in diagram. Yes, so this may also contain the rational database or say distributed database or customer database, and also the service routines. At this particular level, the central processor are usually associated with the network control processor. Yes, these are connected to the network control processor, and these network control processor is independent of this CP, nothing but the central processor. The network control processor has their own operating system and a kernel that will control the hardware and software architecture of this NCP. Wherever you are seeing, you can if the diagram is properly understood, then explanation can automatically be known from this diagram. Yes, so level 1 control is connected to these particular line and trunk modules and interface controller, and there is a software, that is nothing but operating system, wherein this particular operating system will control the functioning of these. Similarly, for level 2, this particular operating system will control the functions of this. Similarly, for the last one, that is level 3 control, here this is said to be as the highest level or say the top level. Here the central processor are the main frame for the computers, provides high level functioning, and these functions include the database management, such as the office data or say high level subscriber data, or say the software patch, or feature control, maintenance, or say the system recovery. Any of these are being controlled by the central processor. Yes, and here whatever is this particular software that is being connected to the level 3 control, this is a real-time operating system. So it means that it also does the multitasking part. It means it can support more than one call at a time. That is the main requirement of the exchange, right? So whatever is the facility given by the exchange has to be satisfactory to the customer's need. So here most of the central processor work as a active or standby mode, because if one goes, then there should be some standby which works at the back. So this will improve the reliability of the exchange. Yes, and here in case of active or standby mode, one CP is always available to go into active mode. If the active CP fails, it means that the entire exchange fails to provide the service to the customer, which should not be the case. So these are the points. Up till the level 3 control.